Throughout the Didsbury Museum, you will see signs of what held the community together. Faith always played a big role for immigrants. Religious beliefs shaped how many people thought about the Western frontier. Some believed their religion would civilize the West. Others sought refuge as they were chased from the East. For most, whether Protestant, Anglican, Methodist, Mennonite, or Catholic, religion was the glue that held their community together. Founded in 1894 by immigration agent Jacob Y. Shantz, Didsbury's first settlers were Dutch Mennonite. They raised their families, endured hardships, and found love, joy, and faith as they built their new lives. That same year, church services were held in the immigration shed, where people lived until their own homesteads were built. The preacher brought his hymn books. Some would sing or play the mouth organ or a violin. Sometimes from outside, the congregation would hear a dog howl as he joined the musical serenade. That often ended the service, but not the visiting. In the newly renovated chapel upstairs at the Didsbury Museum, you will see pictures of the building of the Anglican, Catholic, and Zion churches. A beautiful pump organ was donated by the Didsbury Missionary Church, and our exhibit includes the hymn order for services held by Westcott United and the Zion Evangelical Church. As Menstig Weber wrote in his book, Such Was Life, the church gave families a foundation to think, reflect in prayer, and gave a lift in life. Menstig was the younger brother of a relatively famous author from Didsbury, Ephraim Weber. Grandson of Jacob Y. Shantz, Ephraim was the first teacher in Didsbury. He was paid 10 cents per student per day if the pupil showed up. That's probably why taking attendance was so important back then. There are letters Ephraim wrote of his teaching days. School days were Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and only between May and September. Attendance was poor. Rain, snow, and even heavy dew made it difficult for those who had to walk 3 or 4 miles to school. They often arrived soaking wet, if they arrived at all. Besides being the first teacher, Ephraim Weber had another claim to fame. He was an aspiring writer and was a long-time correspondent with Lucy Maud Montgomery, author of Anne of Green Gables. He wrote his first letter to her in March of 1902, writing at least 11 letters to her before the end of the year. He was encouraged by her engaged response to his first letter. One letter she wrote him was 30 handwritten pages long. Lucy was an emotional shut-in, and her correspondence with Mr. Weber served as a mature literary contact for her. The letters were an escape for both authors. In 1960, they were compiled into a book by author Wilfred Eggleston called The Green Gables Letters. You can come in and read these letters as you sit in a turn-of-the-century desk in our Heritage Schoolroom. There are so many fascinating stories at the Didsbury Museum. We can't wait till we open our doors again and you have a chance to immerse yourself in all that is Didsbury.